Every time Black people have something to celebrate, or Black people are represented on a global scale at large, right? And if you haven't guessed it by now, yeah, I'm talking about the Super Bowl. White people will complain. Every fucking time, okay, you see Black people remotely happy, just know that white people are crumbling, just like crumble cookies. Because tell me why the fuck, and just for the fucking record, I am not even on X. Okay. I made an X account 4 years back or shit like that when it was still Twitter. And I made it only for the sole purpose because there was a white woman ranting about Africans and she was going viral with it on Twitter. So I don't know what I was thinking, okay? I was just mad angry. I just have like 2 tweets. I don't even know at this point if the fucking account still exists. Anyway, I digress. I don't have an X account. Tell me why everything I have learned about hot white people's feelings about the Super Bowl has been against my will. Like, this has just been brought to my doorstep with absolutely no consideration of my personal consent, my personal space bubble. I have not been asked, okay? Still, I am confronted with white people ranting about the Super Bowl from morning till night. I scroll through my fucking IG, white people ranting about the Super Bowl, okay? So I was like, what the actual fuck is happening? Then I was like, oh my God, yeah, true. It's white people. Why am I surprised? I am not surprised, okay? And then sometimes I get myself actually being surprised because I'm like, hey, I mean, shouldn't you be happy that another person is happy? Then I was like, oh yeah, forgot white people. So anyway, I just thought I'll remind you, okay, if you are one of the white people that saw the Super Bowl and you're like, oh my God, all this halftime show, they couldn't even have brought one white person, Lord of the Rings. Besides, what do you mean? Wait, there are two arguments. These are situations when my thoughts are my thoughts are on, my thoughts are overcooking, okay? So let's take one step after another, shall we? Lord of the Rings. I don't fucking know how many of these movies that trilogy movie fantasy shit has, but not a single Black person. And y'all were not outraged. Probably because it doesn't concern you. Anyway, second argument. I mean, I could argue this out from morning till night, and you will still not have a single valid argument. But that's besides the point. Gods of Egypt. Gods of Egypt. I have until this day not watched this movie, and you cannot even strap me down to watch this movie, okay? I will pluck out my eyeballs and eat them with soy sauce before I fucking watch that movie. Because what do you mean gods of Egypt are white people? This is not even about debates, okay? This is just historically, factually wrong, proven to be wrong. Everybody with an internet connection can literally look that up in the midst of 30 seconds at most. So where was the outrage again when gods of Egypt was historically wrong? Right. So let's just go with these two examples only, because that means, it means you only care when the person that lacks representation looks like you. And do you know what that makes you? A racist. Who would have thought? It's really so simple. And then you don't need to be like, oh, I'm not racist. My neighbor down the road's cousin is Black. I'm not racist. I season my food. We do not care, okay? If you're angry about the lack of representation of white people during the Super Bowl, you're racist. Do you know what other angle to this entire white people being angry about the Super Bowl halftime performance really got me? Like, got me? That there were people criticizing the crip walk, calling it ghetto. Listen, and I'm only going to say one thing here, okay? And for that, I'm going to use a metaphor. I'm not sure if it's a metaphor. Anyway, I'm going to use an example that your dumbass is going to be able to comprehend, okay? So, let me just say, you don't have a car. Every day you have to take the tram to get to work. It's filled up, you're sweating, you're stressed, people everywhere, smells everywhere. You get to work fucking overstimulated. You do not want to talk to nobody because you've just had an exhausting time to get to work. And you do that every morning going and every afternoon going back home. Okay. There you have this one coworker that has a car that drives the same route than you take with the tram, but with their car. They come to work relaxed, smelling good, looking good. And every morning you look at that coworker and you're like, why are you not taking me along? We both have the same routes. And then you just get yourself being really jealous of that coworker because that coworker has a car. You neglect the fact that that coworker has worked for this car, works for this car, and achieved this car by their own, achievements, by how they set themselves up. You neglect the fact that this car is achieved because that coworker worked for it. Only thing you see is I don't have a car and I have stressed myself in the morning. My coworker does have a car and doesn't need to stress themselves in the morning. You don't ask why, you don't look at the circumstances, nothing like that. You just see A and B. You're a jealous, hating ass bitch. Let's just get that out of the picture. And how does that fit into our whole topic of the Super Bowl? Well, people that take the tram and are stressed by taking the tram are always going to be jealous of people that take the car, right? People without culture are always going to be jealous when people with culture come together to celebrate exactly that, because you have nothing to celebrate. So now, I know you may be lacking a bit of comprehension here, but at the end of the day, it's the basic understanding of the fact that you do not even know and you do not even consider what Black people did to be able to stand on that stage to celebrate that culture that you're so hateful, or that you're so hateful towards, because the only thing you look at is, why am I not there, and why are they celebrating something I'm not invited to? You're just a hating ass racist bitch. And that entire argument does not even need to be broad. I don't even need to sit down here and explain to you how you shouldn't be hating on Black people being happy, because common sense. But then again, we know. So let me just break it all the way down for you. If you are not angry about the lack of representation of Black people in the media, in the workforce, in politics, in higher up jobs such as doctors, lawyers, such as politicians, such as people that make decisions, such as people that hold power in countries, then you need to shut your entire lipless mouth up about the Super Bowl halftime show. Okay? Because your lack of representation only comes when it is about your white ass. And with all due respect, if you just don't have the talent, you don't have the talent. There's a reason why Black people have the talent. There's a reason why Black people run the entertainment industry. But that's another topic altogether, okay? If you're not angry about all lack of representation, you do not get to be angry about the lack of representation at the Super Bowl. By the way, just for the record, okay? The whole camera team at the Super Bowl was white. So, there were white people on the stage. I don't even know why you're angry. The cameraman was white. Okay? Good.